And joining us now here on the show, Sonny DiChiara, the man who is leading all of college baseball in batting average and on base percentage. He is 10th in the country in reaching base due to a walk. Sonny, I mean, congratulations, seriously, on this incredible start to the season. You got to be happy with what you're putting up on the field.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, obviously. And we're 20-9 heading into our third or fourth weekend of SEC play. And, it's just good to keep it rolling and good to be able to contribute.
I mean, it's got to be a cool feeling, throughout practice. And I mean, you guys have been traveling a lot as of late. So, I mean, just kind of seeing, this team come together when pretty much everybody picked you guys to finish last in the SEC. And obviously the season's not over and you guys aren't focused on this, but debuting in the top 25 for the first time this season after everybody said, no way, there's no way these guys get it together. And you got a million other things on your, to do this season, of course, but it's got to be a good feeling of what you've done so far.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's like 60 or 70 guys in our program who, we know those rankings, we know what they said, and just being able to turn some people's heads and, kind of shove it in the naysayer's mouth. It's kind of nice, but obviously we got to keep on climbing, keep on winning, keep on playing good.
Now, before we started recording, Lindsay, you had a very important question for Sonny DiChiara. You had a very important one that I think we need to just get out there.
Okay, so there's been a lot of people try to give you nicknames. They've been going with Sonny D. I saw an Italian stallion out there, but we've been calling you the Thick King, thick with 2 C's, obviously. And I just wanted to make sure that, of all of the nicknames you have, which one is your favorite?
I mean, I really like all of them. I've been called so many different names in my life, but Thick King is definitely the first. That's just funny.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take it. You mentioned, shoving things back at the naysayers who didn't think that Auburn as a team could do what they're doing. What was it like for you bringing your offensive game to the SEC when there were people who questioned how that would play at a higher level? And, look at what you've done at the plate since you've come up.
I mean, it's all baseball at the end of the day. It's all just, everybody's got to step in the box. Everybody's got to hit a little white ball. And so I just kept my same mentality, kept my same approach, and just kind of let the game come to me. I didn't let anything get too quick on me. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
But, I mean, can you tell a difference, though, in the competition that you're facing from last year to this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, the SoCon was great. The Southern Conference is still a really good conference.
Sure.
Nothing against them. It was still great competition, but the difference being is the different type of depth and the different type of players that you got on the field. We go out on the field against LSU and A&M and Ole Miss, and they got, guys who have been heavily recruited and heavily, at the top of the leaderboards in their class for their whole life. And I think that's just difference of the competition of people, you just know that people are better. And I think it's just awesome getting to go out there competing as those guys.
Sure.
And when you face Ole Miss or Texas A&M and you see all these guys on the field who are MLB draft prospects and scouts are there to watch them, are you cognizant of the fact that scouts are watching you and kind of what do you think about your MLB prospects as we're halfway through the season and you are draft eligible?
I mean, if I've never really had a hard foot, I try not to think about any stuff like that. Hopefully I get to hear my name called one of these days soon, but because I mean, obviously some guys get to thinking about that and they just, their head starts spinning and, it just turns to a bad thing. So, I mean, I really just don't even try to think about it. I mean, it's cool seeing them up there. I know a bunch of them just personally and, I just try not to think about it.
I think that makes sense. Focus on the task at hand and the results will, take care of themselves. I know people say that, but I'm always a little skeptical, Sonny, whenever somebody says that. It's like, how are you not? And it's got to be tough, right? Focus on that.
It is, but I mean, I'm just really this group of guys we're just more focused on winning,
right?
And competing in the game than I mean, we could play in a crowd in front of 50,000 people, and luckily I'm just one of those guys where it just doesn't really matter, who's there or not.
That's great.
Just got to play 9 innings and win the game.
Sonny, what's the mindset going into Vanderbilt? I mean, obviously a very talented team is coming to Auburn this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they've dropped two of their last 3 series, and they got to be searching for some fire. So hopefully we can just keep them down and keep them out of the fight. just put our foot on their neck, kind of, because we've also, we've dropped the last 2 series at home too, and so we're also looking for that fire. Playing, I'm sure we're gonna have a big crowd there all 3 days, and so we're just gonna continue to poke that fire, hopefully.
I mean, just what an absolute statement you guys could make with a series win this weekend. I mean that's obvious. It's a hot ticket. Ticket prices are up right now for this series. I mean, people want to be in Plainsman Park this weekend to see you guys. That's got to mean a ton.
Oh yeah, it's awesome when we can pack that stadium out and sell it out. I mean, playing in some Southern Conference games, there's, we don't get to play in stadiums like we do in the SEC all the time, and just being able to like have all those fans behind your back, even when we're away, when we got all those fans just not behind our back, it just draws it just makes guys want to win even more.
Sure.
When you're going to an LSU, or you're going to be going somewhere like a Arkansas or a Tennessee, what's coming from the Southern Conference and now going into the SEC, like how is it different, the preparation to go on a road trip like that, as far as what the team's doing, what you're doing, and just getting ready for that different kind of environment?
I think the preparation is just kind of the same with from being 2 different colleges. They try to not make a big deal of where we're going to play and where we're playing at. It's just baseball. There's 9 guys on each team trying to beat each other, or 9 guys on the field at a time just trying to beat each other. And I think they just try to keep the environment aspect out of it.
It has to be the coolest feeling ever when you hit a home run on the road, because everyone watching you is just like instantly upset, like instantly. How's that in the SEC?
Oh, when I hit that home run against LSU,
that's what I'm referring to. Absolutely,
you could literally hear a pin drop. It's just kind of funny.
You took your time rounding the bases too. Was that by design, you think?
Well, I hit a ball like that on game 1 Thursday night, and it didn't go over. And I figured I wasn't getting a triple out of that, so it was a Sunday game too, and body gets a little tired towards the end there. You still got to fight.
I get it.
Have you thought about how many balls that you have had caught at the warning track this year that would probably be home runs in most other conferences that are not the SEC? Has that been frustrating? Because even going back to Texas, when you were in Arlington, you tattooed some balls that were caught at the warning track or in the gap.
Yeah, this is just how baseball is. Somebody was telling me about that the other day. Like whenever we're playing at a huge park, I somehow find a way to just hit it to dead center and they catch it. It's just, it's just baseball. Sure. Like I'll do that, till we get caught 10 times, then I'll hit one off the end of the bat that creeps over our left field wall. Like
that's how it works, right?
That's all it is.
The baseball gods give and take.
Yes. Absolutely. Sonny, you're wearing an NIU Auburn hat. What kind of how has that impacted your life as a college athlete? As we're recording this Wednesday, I assume you got back late Tuesday night from Birmingham, and then we're recording this after you got done with class. It's a brutal schedule. You guys are constantly busy. It's got to be nice to have NIU Auburn kind of having your back and making sure you're taken care of.
Oh yeah, these guys have definitely changed. I don't know how many Auburn athletes they have, but they've definitely changed my life. Just with the NCAA making this a thing, and Auburn and NIL was just hopped right on it, and they just wanted to help us, and we're helping them as well, growing their business. So they're definitely life changing. It's just different world.
A big part of what fans get, aside from access when they become an NIL Auburn subscriber and they join to help support Auburn athletes, is they get a bunch of autographs. How many autographs do you think you've signed since signing with these guys?
I went into the office one day. I think I signed 90 or so pieces of paper.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to end up going in like next week sometime. I'm gonna schedule another time to go back in, and so I'm sure I'll just keep signing more things. But the work, like the things they ask us to do, are just, it's nothing like, oh my goodness. It's like, okay, heck yeah, I get to go do this.
Reasonable, right?
Yes, reasonable, yes.
And that it's going to go to somebody that's supporting you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be cool. So if you're listening to this or watching this and you want to help Auburn athletes be supported even more than they already are, go to nilauburn.com and you can check out all the information there. Sonny, I think your walk-up song may be one of the most fun. I think it definitely excites Plainsman Park when it happens. Tell me about, did y'all ever kind of give Cam Hill a hard time for his? Because it just doesn't seem like it really matches, but it's a lot of fun whenever Shakira starts playing.
No, I mean, if you got to know Cam Hill in the locker room, he's a little different guy in the locker room. He's more like open and outgoing. So that, I mean, we think it fits perfect. We love it. It's
sure.
Awesome.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun. Lindsay, what else you got for Sonny, man?
Talking about helping your teammates and stuff, me and the other beat writers and the fans who watch and everything, we talk obviously a lot about you. We talk a lot about Trace Bright, and Blake Rambush leading off. Who were some of the guys that we're not necessarily talking about that much, but we probably should be, that are, working behind the scenes, that are really good at what they do and are going to be future stars on this Auburn team?
I mean, obviously I can't pinpoint one person. I mean, you just got to, anytime there's somebody in the lineup, it's going to be somebody to pinpoint and highlight. Like, there's just going to be, just watch them, because we got, 15, 20 hitters who are all special. And anytime they get their name called and they're in the lineup that day, it's going to, they're going to do something that's productive and to help this team win.
And talking about guys being in the lineup recently, I've seen, it feels like a bigger focus on 2-out hitting. And you guys have had a nice streak recently of stringing together consecutive hits and scoring runs with 2 outs. Is there anything different y'all are doing in those situations versus a normal at bat that's getting to this success?
So what we really preach on is, the first 2 strikes, the at bat is the hitters. You can do what you want with those. But when it gets to 2 strikes, it's just time to battle and time to, if there's a runner on second, you better be moving them over. If there's a runner on third, you got to get them in. And it seems like for the past 10 games, we've been absolutely blistering balls right at people without 2 outs. And then with 2 outs, we'll just get, just a single over the infielder's head. And so we're getting the job done. And what we really preach on is 2-strike hitting. So we keep that important.
Okay. Last question from me. Early in the season, we saw a behind the scenes video of Sonny mic'd up at an Auburn baseball practice, and you made a diving catch in the outfield. How much have you lobbied Butch Thompson to give you 1 inning in left with that short depth we have there with the monster? 1 inning.
I just can't. I can't find myself to do it, because I've never played a single pitch in outfield in my life. So I think I'm going to keep that streak going.
Nice.
So as far as your life outside of baseball, you're a video game guy. Is that right?
Yeah.
What are you playing right now?
So right now I'm playing the show.
MLB The Show. That makes
the show.
So when you play that, do you create yourself, or do you play as other people?
I mean, I'll play with my creative player type thing. I do that, but I mainly play Diamond Dynasty, which is a fantasy type thing.
Sure.
And me and a group of buddies just always get it every year, and we always just play.
Hypothetical. If you were to create yourself, which team do you put yourself on?
I always do the random draft. I never pick a team.
That's a very diplomatic answer for a man looking to get drafted in June.
Yeah. I just random.
Are you better at real baseball or MLB The Show?
I don't know. I'm pretty good at the show. I've been playing it for 7 years, so I'm really good at the show. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll take my talents in the show.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. You need to be you need to start streaming some. I think that'd be awesome. I think you'd be good.
I might. I asked you about where you got that mic from, so I'm thinking about it, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Sonny, thank you so much for your time, brother. Hey, and best of luck this weekend. Huge series against Vandy.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.